A lot of years ago, I was accidentally info dumping on some random person's tweet. Well, most of the info there is outdated now. There's one specific detail I want to talk about. When Deltarune first released, I immediately noticed how the dialogue sprites of Darkners are colored in, while Lightners have monochromatic dialogue sprites. My mind instantly connected this to Sans Undertale, the character who has the most emphasis on color from his blue-yellow flashing eye. Is Sans a Darkner? Not exactly. You do see him in Deltarune's light world scene. Not only that, doesn't Asgore have a colored trident too? What could it mean for him? Well, you notice how the Dark World's game UI changes so much from the Light World's own game UI. Some people think darkness simply makes light world objects alive, when really it affects everything. Spade card to Lancer, Chris getting some full armor, even the whole battle looks different. As of that little bit, what I connected was darkness being related to color. If you think about it, Asgore uses a red trident to alter the game UI by breaking the Mercy button. Viper Death Asriel's final rainbow attack that Frisk somehow extends is also a good example of this. If we're to take a step further, human souls are all colored and well monster souls are an uncolored white. The exposure of darkness from the humans may explain why Asgore can color his trident. Viper Death Asriel also absorbing said darkness may explain why his final attack blows away the game UI do. But of course, you may already see flaws here. What about the light in Chris's soul? What about green bullets? What about Undyne's yellow spears? What about sand? Dying to the night, the way they slash the battle box is a very peculiar detail. Darkness being able to alter the UI perhaps. Apart from the rainbow fountain in the background, the fog cover reminded me more about Viper Death Asriel's wings. In fact, he and the night have very interesting parallels. Swords, stars burn and despair at the start, even the final attack is just Viper Gomer. Am I saying Asriel is the night? Asriel and his iconic deer antlers. Speaking of the guy, I always wondered why Omega Flowy looked like that. A lot of darkness does look like the shadow at the back of her mind as Rousey describes the Titans, which is seen here at 6 human souls. But with equivalently one more, why does he look more like a conventional Undertale sprite? I wonder. If human souls represent dark by color, why can't uncolored monster souls be light? Okay, I know it was stupid to not have realized this as a kid, but it does make sense. Although, some people I talked to did refute my claim of Frisk as a dark human. Namely, what does that make Chris surprisingly different? Frisk's soul does shine white. Not believing me, my friend said Frisk's soul also shined white when turning yellow. Upon further inspection, note Frisk's yellow shine is different compared to Chris's more white shine. Therefore, this difference is explained by Chris being a light human. Going back to Deltarune, what are tension points supposed to be? We never saw any mention of them in Undertale at all, yet they were so prevalent in Deltarune. What is the tension supposed to be anyway? What is tension? I'm actually going to look up this one. The definition I want to focus on is applied force to something which tends to stretch it. As Rousey says, darkness can make a poster look alive and a chair look like a monster. Darkness can stretch and modify the light world so much, I believe the light being with the dark is what tension points are. Molding the battle you have to do something else, even using this tension to mold your normal powers into dealing with stronger attacks. So maybe tension points are lighters being able to modify the darkness around them. The darkness, not so much. Our feather from baby Lancer's blue, yet letting him run over us while staying still hurts us. The fact that he along with many other darkners can change their ballistic differently implies the more stronger beings can only alter the game UI with darkness. Escaping can move the battle box around, the knight can slash open, and Teddy is able to straight up tear our screen. It doesn't all have to be strong spells however. Have you ever noticed green bullets only appearing after Frisk acts? The TP bar does look eerily similar to Frisk's HP bar too, only turning yellow at max TP. Of course that would make sense, a dark human in a light environment would make for a lot of tension after all. Even with Elf being on team, Frisk is still a patty if they can only push the battle box instead of using super cold darkness like Escaping does. Not everyone's that strong however. Tension is from being exposed to an unfamiliar environment, which does explain why denser turns into a stretching cyber world. But if tension is more about stretching, why would he solidify? Well, turning into an object is also solidification, isn't it? I feel it's very implied here that the light is more about solidifying. But what does that make of the dark? Well, the shadow crystals do move like water in Chris's hands. What about the dark being more about liquid? What if the determination of these extracts is darkness? It explains why the amalgamates look all goopy, all those light monsters merging together to be solid enough to withstand the dark. Game UI modification also follows suit here, free for bird covering the battle box during her turn being a big example. The memorize also healing when attacked is reminiscent of Frisk flipping bullets around to heal themselves. Apart from Lemon Bread modifying the battle box, their save point also mimics Frisk's yellow dark save point, not to be confused with Chris's light save point. If darkness is determination, however, why don't darkness save? I find this weird info funny every time I mention it because no one has somehow realized this. While I was first playing Chapter 4, I saw a little spark above Rouse just before the knight summons the Titan. On the 100% replay, however. You're telling me? Absolutely. No one saw this, despite playing through the game so much. I should do something about it, but that also makes sense, right? Even ignoring the fact that he has memorized the prophecy so much to the point where he knows all battle rules, his game awareness still extends far in Chapter 1. It should be simple, Chris. Press the boxes onto the switches with the key. Wait, who the hell is the key? Do you see what I mean? But of course, the knight is clearly more determined to slash the battle box in front of him, hence why his fell loading attempt failed. But now that everything's out of the way, we can get into the original point of my theory. Actually, no. This was where I was going to end the video. Back then, I considered this enough proof to call the knight an amalgamate, considering the many ideas on who the knight could be. Hyper-death Asriel's powers, deer antlers, a bet, a katana, handholds, even the simple goopiness of the knight. But since school has been weighing me from finishing this video, it has made me wonder more. After all, I'm positive the orb in the chest isn't the knight's soul, but a component of another knight. In fact, let's quickly fact-check my simple claim of darkness being noted by color. A spore can be attributed to exposure to human souls. Same with Alfie's and her experiments on said souls. Papyrus and sense can be connected to some Delphin origin nonsense. Undyne can be equated to her natural determination. This natural sense of determination also explains why Undyne trusts the dogs of Snowdon as guards. So that's mostly it, right? Makes sense that the main characters have colored attacks. Did you know Pyrup is the only common monster to have orange attacks? Surely. I can find something. Right, there has to be something I missed. I just need to find it. At this moment, I was actually worried that my whole theory was broken by this dumb idiot. Stumbling around, I decided to rely on the canonically confirmed determined monsters, the amalgamates. I was fooling around on Striker's resource once, but I actually noticed something peculiar. In every first instance of an amalgamate appearing, they smile. I thought this was an exclusive thing, but I realized all the main antagonists of the Deltron chapters do this too. Even the knight, as they sometimes use their visor as an owl. Perhaps this is related to the fun value. Whatever it may be, this emotion seems to be consistent with Pyarp's victim smile. But even then, would Pyarp goop into a slushie? What makes Pyarp the exception here? To my memory, this god is the only other common monster to have blue attacks. But there is something funny I remembered about this god as a kid. Those little dots near the antlers. Are those eyes? Analyzing this at present, they actually blink back at me. This does beg another question. Have there been more instances of stable amalgamates? Well, the stabilism used to interest me as a kid the same way too. In fact, aren't all four enemies stronger versions of Ruin's monsters? Kind of like how dipping Chris in the Dark World gives them full armor, so can the Force Darkness darken the monsters up. My friend actually supports this claim by showing how they have a stronger will to do anything. I think like this, we can establish that darkness and determination are over-exaggerated. I think the reason it took over the two lab monsters was simply because their bodies were not strong enough, noted by the comatose fallen down status. In contrast, Undyne has a much stronger body, which is why the only sign of goopiness is when she dies. Determination is a natural emotion to have after all, but I think it is a more intensified emotion that contributes to a darker dark. This connection also explains how darkness reflect the will of its fountain. So if darkness is what makes an object alive, this would explain why Navinci needs stronger emotions to be corporeal. Her darkness from these deep emotions shows with her colored attacks in contrast to an incorporeal Napstablook's Utdr. Speaking of her though, the soul split she does is quite interesting. A Cyan soul. Surprisingly, this isn't the first time Cyan has had some significance. For example, Shudder's camera reveals the true nature of things. You could argue that it is a photometer effect, but I genuinely believe that it shows that Frisk has a Cyan soul. Frisk having the patience to keep up with the player is a funny concept, but what would that mean? Apart from the funny Baldane trademark, there is a red soul thing in the True Lab symbolizing control or power. So if we consider Frisk and the player as the red souls, Chara makes sense as the Cyan soul as their whole thing is about exploring the limits of stuff. You'd have to be pretty patient to be exploring that. I'm pretty sure you can figure out how Kara's revival goes out by now, but I'd like to spell everything out, so let me do the funny video ending. Even if Frisk is a dark human, I think their darkness isn't powerful enough to revive carefully. So when they fall onto Kara's burial spot, the only revival privilege is existing as a ghost connected to Frisk. However, you need to have strong emotions to be corporeal with your attached body. Therefore I think love is the intensified emotion that connects to darkness. Just like how Jerson revives as the old man when his ashes are thrown into the dark world, Kara leeches off the love Frisk accumulates to become alive. I think this is also why Frisk is pretty unrecognizable as a human in the root. Thus, Kara revives themselves by taking over Frisk's body in the genocide route. And to top this all off, if Kara is so filled with darkness at LV20, what game-altering thing does Kara show us? There's been some debate on the last light motif of Black Knife. I seem to be one of the only ones that think that it's a part of the dark truth. Here, listen. Does make the most sense considering something like the night was right there in the story, but since Nightmare Night's leitmotif is a subset of Lost Girl, I wouldn't be surprised to know that the Dark Truth is a subset of something else. The reason it's structured a bit differently anyways because it is just a simple variation of the leitmotif. The Black Knife version is 3 semitones lower but also has more shorter notes as well as a little more sprinkled around. This is just something that happens a lot in music making, which is why it is hard to catch leitmotifs sometimes. Right, I forgot about the credits. Hold on. I'm actually surprised I got this out before chapter 5 considering how much school held me back. Initially, I thought it was also my job and other real life stuff that affected me the most. Well, that is partially true. It seemed like only after I decided to take a break from school that I was able to make actual good progress on this video. Well, I talked about this theory to a lot of friends. They all asked me if I was going to make a video on this since they thought it would make a lot of views. I was already thinking about making it into a video beforehand, but the reason is really just to see how far my video editing skills can go. It's not like I did anything groundbreaking, but the curiosity was just from seeing what I did in my 2024 Arcade attack. I wasn't actually expecting Chapter 5 to release within a week. When I heard about the Nintendo Direct rumors, some thoughts on my video being obsolete did appear, but the fact that it was not right after the Direct felt like I was blessed to have a time limit. There are actually some more theories that didn't make the cut, but it was mostly because I wasn't too confident in them. I might put them in the video description. If I don't though, feel free to message me anytime. I'd love to discuss my swap with you. I love this game like my life depends on it honestly, so please invade my notice and I'll respond when I get the time. By the way, the 2024 Arcade attack is why I, remote the FBI, am talking in people's place. I'm her favorite character apparently, and ever since I talked to her there, she really likes me as the person to represent her. In fact, Teapot21 had a very funny coincidence with my theory here, despite none of this being related. I wonder if the team has the same idea as me. Probably not. But really, the main special thanks of my Undyne crafting goes to my friends who actually helped with my theory all the way. It's fine that they are not as insane as I am, they still helped me even with a little bit, even being the small missing puzzle piece of my theory. Most of my thinking was independent, but to say that no one helped me is a wrong statement. Also, I am completely fine if my theory crumbles to the ground next chapter. People act so definite when they aren't evenly offered the story, which is why they get so devastated when the next chapter disproves them. In my eyes, I see it as more opportunities to reinforce my theory, hence why I don't mind people who think opposite of my theories. Unfortunately, I am busy on release day, so I won't get to play it immediately, so don't spoil me until I tweet that it's okay to. In fact, I would really like to talk more and more, but at that point the critics would be as long as this video. So remember everyone, be nice to each other and lend an ear to their funny claim. They may be right, who knows? It's not like you're always right either. And as always, love you all.
Okay. Yeah, let's get Rousey up.
What's with the Jesus Christ hands?
What's with the I mean, I don't know. They're all Christmas related, so.
Oh no.
Oh no.